Welcome to Thrive After 45, the podcast for women ready to expand, embody their truth, and shine unapologetically in the second half of life. I'm Denise Drinkwalter, heart whisperer, midlife mirror, and mentor. Every week, I am honored to share energy and space with inspiring guests whose stories reflect so many possibilities of thriving beyond 45. Together, we'll uncover the whispers of the heart, the power of midlife transformation, and the wisdom that fuels expansion. What happens when a woman who has guided thousands in wellness and recovery chooses to completely reinvent her own life? Today on Thrive After 45, I am honored and privileged to welcome and reintroduce Linda Mallard, a transformational coach, energy medicine expert, and somatic healing practitioner who has devoted more than 30 years to helping others reclaim their vitality, purpose, and joy. Linda began as a pioneer in Pilates, rehabilitation, and injury recovery, building a thriving 25-year business. But in 2015, life called her deeper. Through personal loss and profound transition, she stepped away from success to follow her soul's true path. And since then, she's become certified in RTT hypnotherapy, somatic therapy, energy codes coaching, remote healing, and more, bridging ancient wisdom with neuroscience in ways that have transformed over 10,000 lives worldwide. Her mission? To guide high achieving women and professionals in transition out of burnout, brain fog, and survival mode, and into embodied presence, clarity, and a life they truly love. Linda is known simply as the woman who helps you come home to yourself, body, mind, and soul. Linda, what an honor to share this space with you today.
Thank you. So beautiful to be here, Denise. Thank you for this most amazing introduction. And, we met a couple of years ago and, we had touched on these transitions, and now 2.5 years later, we're continuing to grow and evolve and touch lives. So it's so beautiful to be back in conversation with you.
I can't believe it's been 2 years. I can, but I can't. You know how time just like slips through our hands? And with everything that you have done over your years and lifespan to this point, because I know there's no finish line for you and you're learning, but isn't it incredible when we come home to ourselves and the power that exists when we live in the now?
Mm, yeah. Yeah, it's the living in the now and being connected with what matters to you most, being
Mm.
connected to your values and that check-in of what is in alignment with what matters to me now and being true to that.
Yeah. I love what you're saying around the values. I have a lot of conversations with women and they're like, values? Well, yes, family, that, but it's like it spills out, but it's not connected to their inner being. Is that a lot of work that you support, is helping women really come home to themselves through a value lens as possible, one avenue to explore?
It's actually 100% of that, because when we actually come back home to ourselves, that is to root and ground of I am.
Mm.
Many people come to me saying, Linda, I want to be more enlightened. I want to this higher level of consciousness. And the invitation is that we are already that as pure consciousness. But what we're spending our lifetime here to do is to awaken to our own magnificence of who am
Mm.
I? And the sense of I belong, this is my gig, I've got it. And that's that root chakra that we're coming home to root and ground into who we are as heart and soul. And to discover what it is that we're here to give and to offer. And that destiny and legacy of what it is we're here to also share with others.
I love that. I love that. Your passion is pouring through your cells. Like it I can feel it. I can see you because we are recording this and it does go onto YouTube, but I can also feel it. As you're
Mm.
speaking, I feel the exchange. I feel my cells in my body activating. So, thank you for bringing this conversation to such a depth so quickly. I appreciate
Mm.
that in ways you can't begin to imagine.
Well, and this is what's so beautiful about being in conversation with others around what is consciousness and what is it that we're here to do and what connects deeply to our soul because it keeps us in touch with that. And so I always feel blessed to be able to teach in my mentorship group. It's sort of a mentorship container, if you will, and be in conversation with you because it reminds us and keeps us
Mm,
connected to that. And so we're constantly evolving and leveling up and elevating our levels of consciousness. And when we're conscious, we are awake, we are aware. And once we're awake, we cannot go back to sleep. And
mm,
it just the work just goes deeper and deeper until we're reaching so deeply into our soul that what shows up is who we are. The masks come off
mm.
and
Yeah.
we're actually able to really show up truly as our authentic self, courageously, unapologetically. And when we do that, everybody benefits.
The ripple effect is incredible, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've noticed when these transformations occur and we go inward, I get a lot of people, a lot of women in particular going, isn't that egocentric if I start to center on myself and the conversation happens around how it's not, but the experience speaks way louder than the words, I find. In
Tell me
terms,
more
yeah,
about that. Dive into that a little bit, if you don't mind.
absolutely. So we can talk about it, but until we do the action and participate in going deeper within ourselves and what that really is, it's a journey and it's not
Mm.
a one time dip in, got it. Now we can move forward. It's a way of being within ourselves, that speaks way louder. And what I find is the ripple effect that occurs when my energy changes,
Mm.
all those in my sphere of influence, which I used to believe were those who I have common, consistent contact with, I am now noticing it's a wider universal energy that's happening. It's not just those within my sphere of influence, it's universally influenced. Our conversation today has influence way beyond what my brain can imagine, but I feel
Uh,
it.
yes, absolutely. Well, and everything is energy. This is the piece, right? We have 11 billion bits of information coming into our cells per second, per millisecond. And this energetic connection that we feel with each other, that we think of someone and they call, or we run into them in the grocery store
Yeah.
and it's like, I was just thinking about you. I was just this is the energetic connection that is not woo-woo. It is scientifically backed. And so
Right.
when we look at everything as energy, that we can actually be at the cause as creator of our life,
Mm,
in that your life is a reflection of your energy. And you alluded to that in what you said around, I shift myself and then the world out there shifts around me. And so when your life is a reflection of your energy, when life is flowing, when it's working, when you're connecting with people, when you're feeling like on your game, it's because the energy in here is moving.
Hmm.
And so when life out there, we come up against these challenges and these roadblocks, it's like looking back inside and going, what's happening within me? Where am I resisting? Where in my body do I need to build the circuitry? What is it that this is happening that I'm here to learn, to awaken to my magnificence? And this is the power that we have to create our life. And I also love this piece because this is the power of that I am in control of my life. I am a
Yes.
creator of my life. And we're not giving our energy away to others. We're actually saying, "Oh, what is it that I'm here to awaken to?" So that we start to come from a place of curiosity versus
Mm,
fear. And all of a sudden the whole world opens up and we start to attract what it is that we want.
I love that. So true. What's been an experience where you could speak to specifically so our audience can go, "Oh my gosh, she gets this. She's really speaking from experience here."
An experience of how my life has shifted because my energy has shifted
Yeah.
um, so much, and it's around the stepping into my own power and my beingness. So I was married for 22 years. I have three beautiful children, and the marriage was challenging. My
Hmm.
husband was a bully in many ways. He lived with bipolar, and as a result of that, I started to lose myself to keep the peace in the family. I
Sure.
started to lose who I was, lose my
Mm,
voice as a way of just kind of coping, getting through the day, and putting a mask on that. Yeah, everything's okay for the family, for our friends. And what started to show up for me is I got sick. I dealt with anxiety. I had panic attacks. I thought I
mm,
was having heart attacks, landing in hospital. So my body was speaking so loudly, you are not in alignment with yourself. I didn't understand at the time. I was young and I hadn't gone into this work. I didn't understand at the time what was happening. I didn't know the word anxiety.
mm,
And in my last hospital visit, the doctor said, "Oh, it's just anxiety," and I'm like, "I don't even know what that means." And I went into my work. I had a Pilates and rehabilitation studio. I was with a client who was a spiritual coach. And she's like, "What is going on?" I said, "I don't know what's wrong." She said, "Linda, nothing is wrong. There's nothing to fix. Your body is speaking to you. And
mm,
it's time for you to listen and partner with your body." And so I hired her as a coach. And when we started to lift under the hood, we could see what was going on right from childhood, why I made decisions that I did, how I was in survival mode and coping. And it was in that moment where I discovered for myself.
mm.
She
Yeah.
guided me, but I discovered for myself what was happening. And that's when I started to heal and grow. And over time, I gained the strength. I set things up so that I could powerfully leave the marriage
Right.
in a loving, connected way.
Mm,
And from there, the growth and being able to stay grounded and be true to who I am and take care of myself and deal with what it was that I needed to deal with around the marriage, being a mother, running a business. Um, I that was really the start for me
mm.
of living authentically who I am as me. And then there's many stories throughout the journey as I move through, but that was the one of getting nothing's wrong. There's nothing to fix. The power is in here, and my body is my friend. It's there speaking the truth for me.
I love that. I do have a question that's coming up for me. Is there a part of your journey that you haven't talked about that really did change you on the inside?
Yes. So, 11 months after leaving my marriage, my husband became sick and he passed away within 11 weeks of the diagnosis. So we were no longer together, but we were still married. And, the separation was very raw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when we had separated, he was very angry and he lashed out and started spreading stories to his family. And so there was all these things to deal with. And before he passed, I had said to him, you need to clean this up with your family because I am going to be left having to, be in relation with them, with our children. Anyway, he passed. He never cleaned it up. And in the process of dealing with his passing, having to sell the house, and things that his family was doing, literally ransacking the house, um, giving things away, squatting in the home, I found a part of me that I did not know existed. And that part of me that rose up was this stand for what mattered most, this stand of being a stand for myself, which I had never done in the marriage, a stand for my children,
Mm.
but it was in a place of love and really wanting to connect with everybody in his family, such as that we could move this through this together. And when I rose up and was speaking for myself, speaking for my children, saying what mattered, saying no, that's when I realized that there was a part of me that was in there that was strong, that was
Mm.
courageous, and that I was able to communicate from a place of love.
Wow.
And that's when my whole life changed.
Wow.
So thank you I've actually never shared the story in that way. So thank you for asking that because I found a part of me that I didn't know
Yeah.
existed.
And that my body is tingling right now because that's the work.
Mm-hmm.
Uncovering and discovering the you that exists in there that is ready to come out. And when that happens, everything shifts. Things shift before, things shift after, but that's the pillar, the foundation that allowed you to go, wow, that's me.
Yeah. I didn't even
Right?
recognize myself. There'd be times I'd
Right?
be like, whoa, whoa, who's that? Like, wow. And at the end of, that time in life, and even today I look back and I feel so proud of
Right?
myself. I'm like, I dealt with that time from a place of groundedness, connection, and love. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud of how I did it. Now, it took having support, it took having the
Oh,
clarity, it took a practice of checking in and rituals and meditation. And this is what transformation is.
right.
We talk about the transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly, but what happens in
Yes.
in between those two is the chrysalis,
Right?
where there is a transformation and a change where it's like, I am different now. I can't go back. I don't want to go back. And that transformation leaves us with these pearls of wisdom. And what is wisdom is taking our life experiences and
Yeah.
growing from them, learning, and then sharing it.
Right.
That is wisdom.
And two things I want to say from that analysis, which was beautiful, by the way. What I'm envisioning is the chrysalis, the outside can't see, but the being inside the chrysalis is feeling it all,
Mm, yeah.
right?
And we are here to feel everything. We're here to
Yes.
feel joy, anger, frustration, love. We're here, all of these feelings, even the feeling of fear is we it's
Yeah.
the juice, it's the elixir of life.
Mm.
And when we connect to the feeling in the body, this is the embodiment piece. This
Yeah.
is the piece that if we're not a mind, we have a mind. We're not a body, we have a body. We are that body, mind, and spirit. And when we're connected to all of that, and it comes through the embodiment, the
Mm.
soul, the spirit, that who you are at your essence speaks to the body. And that's where we get that gut instinct, that intuition, that space of this is a yes, this is a no, or I've got to go for this, even though I don't know how it's going to work out, or I don't know how I know, I just know. And
Mm.
it's having that connection, and the body speaks to the mind to tell the mind what to action on. And
Right.
when we're connected to that, that is where we literally feel like we can move mountains.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That's,
not here. This is
yeah.
this is not this is I spent years thinking that with this running the show,
The head. She's
right?
pointing at the head. Yeah.
The head, right? And the head is not there running the show. We need the mind to make sense of the world. But when we connect to who we are at our essence, we come into the body, and we might name a feeling of, oh, I'm feeling frustrated right now. Where in my body does my mind go? It goes to my heart.
Right.
So open the heart space through the breath and
Mhm.
ask if this was happening for me to awaken to a greater purpose or a greater meaning of who I am. What would that be? And this is the connection. This is where we evolve and we awaken, and we live our truth.
Yeah. And everyday events occur, but you enter into those events differently, in a different level, in a different capacity. You're able to sift and sort when you are aligned to yourself in the deepest way. And it's a journey. It's a journey.
It is. And as I'm working with clients, and they're learning this work, they're
Yeah.
new to this work, and they're like, why does the same thing keeps coming up? And I'm like, but we're always evolving,
Hmm.
and we're always shifting and growing and awakening, these baby steps that you talk about. And what starts to happen is that as we're becoming aware, these experiences that happen over and over again, is life saying, hey, there's something for you to get here, there's something for
Yeah.
you to learn here. And what happens is that we get to the right thank you faster, right? As we're awakening and learning, it's like maybe there's a pattern or something that is like, there's that thing again, right? I know what
Right.
that is. ah I'm going to do it differently this time. And we get to that, I know what that is. And then we rather than life going, whoa, whoa, it's all
Right.
of a sudden the ride smoother.
Yeah.
And that pattern shifts, and we start to do things differently. And then we stop attracting the same personality. We stop repeating old patterns and behaviors. And that is the old you. And we start to evolve and shift into the new you. And I have a little interesting awakening that I had not too long ago. And I caught myself in a conversation with a friend saying not great things about myself. I'm not super comfortable in large social environments. And then later I reflected, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's the old me that was
Mm.
showing up again. And so I picked up the phone and called her, and I said, hey, I just want to share something for me,
Hmm.
but I'd like you to witness it. That what I said about myself in that conversation is the old me.
Hmm.
And how I choose to show up now is this. And so I just want to up level, upgrade myself in my
Hmm.
consciousness by saying that I'm no longer showing up as that.
Hmm.
And thank you for being the opening in the space for me to actually close the door on
Yeah.
that. And this is how I show up as the new evolved self. And it was this deep awareness. I went home and I'm like, God, I didn't like that person who showed up for that little moment. So we're just going to up level and upgrade here.
Yeah.
And that was something that happened just a few weeks ago.
I love that. So if somebody is feeling stuck
Mm.
and what that really means for whatever that is for them, how could they start shifting their energy so that they're getting out of that feeling of, ah, here it is
Yes.
again?
Yes, here it is again. So when we're feeling stuck, it is likely an old pattern coming forward that we're either stuck out of self-protection and
Mm,
we're stuck because we lack pardon me, we lack clarity.
mm,
So the first thing we can do is come into our body,
mm.
because our
Yeah.
body tells us everything we need to know. And if we're stuck, that resistance will show up somewhere in the body. So, if I think about, I don't know what to do about this, or,
Yeah.
that person still, and how do I deal with this situation? What's that next choice? So we do a practice called take it to the body. So the very first thing is we think about whatever it is we're feeling stuck on.
Hmm.
And I have the person just close their eyes. And, right away, my hand likes to go to my heart and my core, but it's whatever you're called to do. And it's like when you think of that question or that area that you're stuck or that part of your life that's frustrating for you, where in your body does your mind go? And they might say, oh, it's in my solar plexus, or it's in my heart, or it's in my gut, and or it's in my throat. It's connected to one of our chakras. And so we go into that part where we're feeling that resistance or that tension or that charge, and we start to breathe into that. Say it's a belly breath. Maybe I feel it in my gut or
Hmm.
the heart. We open the heart and we breathe and expand into that area. So we just go into that part of us, that unloved part of us, or that part that's saying, hey, I need some attention here, or that part of us that we want to build some circuitry because maybe it's been constricted for a long time.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we just breathe into that, maybe for a minute. And then we go back and we think about whatever that thing is where we're feeling stuck or restricted. And we say, where in your body does your mind go? Now, for some people, they might say, well, it goes nowhere, it's gone. Or we
Mm.
might say, it's less. Okay, we have more work to do there.
Yeah.
Or they might say, it's moved now. Okay,
Ha.
we're peeling back.
Nice.
And so that take it to the body and connecting to the body. Where in my body does my mind go? And we literally get to where the person thinks of that thing or that person or whatever that question is where they're feeling stuck. And it's like, I feel open and expanded.
Mm.
So then we can lean in with curiosity and start to ask, you know, if I was to, if this is happening for me to awaken to a greater purpose, what is that?
Right.
If it was this or something different, what is that? We start
Mm.
to ask new questions of curiosity, and all of a sudden the clarity may come, or it might come later down the road. But if you were to picture me holding on to a slinky, and a slinky, our energy is designed to move like a slinky. But
Right.
when things happen in our life where we don't have the circuitry to deal with it, it may have happened a long time ago. Something
Sure.
happened and we didn't have the circuitry to deal with it, or the experience or the wisdom, and the energy we get it collapses.
Hmm.
Right? Maybe we speak up in class when we're in grade
Right.
4,
Yeah.
and they say, everyone laughs at us, energy shuts down, I clamp because it's not safe to speak up, and I
Right.
that carries me through my life. And so what we're doing is we're starting to open up the energy flow. And when we open up the energy flow, the answers come. All that we need to know is there. We can listen to our intuition, tap into that gut instinct. Right. Feel into what's right for you.
Yes, I
So
love that.
that's the first thing that we do is we connect into the body.
And it's not just an action, but it is a process where it brings you into your inner world, into tapping into your true self, which is what we talked about at the very beginning. So it's an actionable step that you can move to when you're feeling stuck. So thank you, Linda, for such an incredible conversation. We could go on and we're going to come back together again. I know it. I know it.
I feel it.
Is there one message or a reminder that you would love our Thrive After 45 community to carry with them? Something that they could maybe lean into no matter where life is currently taking them.
It's to trust.
Hmm.
Trust comes up. Trust that you know the way. Trust when you connect to the body wisdom and you feel expanded and open, or you feel contracted, that your body is telling you what's right for you. What's a yes, what's a no, what's not yet. I need more information. And the more we connect into that and we start to trust in ourselves, that will lead us in the direction, in the right path that is best for you. And what's great, best for you is best for everybody else. Or right for you is
Beautiful.
right for everybody else.
Beautiful. Beautiful. In our show notes, we'll have all the information on how to find Linda, and I believe she's sharing a free gift. You don't want to miss on that one.
Yes. Go head over to my website, intentionallife.ca, and right at the top, you can receive it's 7 days to clarity, courage, and calm. And it's 7 days of videos that you'll receive that touch on these various topics that we discussed today. It's really about coming home to you so that we have that centering, that groundedness, that calm, that clarity to really show up authentically as you. And when we do, this is where life gets juicy. It's where it gets good.
It's waiting for all of us.
Yes.
What stirred in you? Me Academy makes it sovereign.
Mm, beautiful.